Sometimes our chefs are really comfortable being behind the scenes in the kitchen and cooking, and I would love to see a lot more of them come forward and tell their stories and share why they have selected this particular ingredient and the effort that they've put into every single detail on this dish, or stories around their culture. And I think the stories that we might hear through the culinary scene is going to be what helps continue our connection through food with people, as well as I think it really contributes to the dining experience overall. 20 years ago when we moved to Calgary, my coworker said you have to go and have ginger beet. I remember trying it for the very first time, and I had this vision of like having sliced beef and sliced ginger, stir fried with like a soy sauce base. And when it came, I thought maybe the wrong dish had come, actually, if I'm gonna be really honest. But now I've come to realize that it's a dish that's very unique to Calgary. Now, I've come to love different versions of it. One of the versions that I've tried recently that I really love is Chef Matthias's ginger beet version. I think that he keeps to the flavors of ginger, sweetness. There's the crunch from the frying of the beets, but it's a beautiful dish unto itself. Matthias Fong is a chef that's actually been well known here in Calgary for quite some time. His love and his passion for hyper-local cuisine through River Cafe as being elevated in his techniques. He knows all the producers that he's put on a plate. He's thought through all the details. And so him coming into Primary Colors and working with the Monogram team has been so exciting.
In terms of sustainability and local ingredients, I think part of it starts from River Cafe. As a young cook, I saw ingredients come in the door I had never seen before. I was able to go to visit farms, and I started to notice the ingredients are just that much better when they're picked fresh. And having that connection with the farmers was something I took on really early. I started to realize if you want to cook really good food, you got to start with really good ingredients. It seems like a no-brainer, but I don't think a lot of people actually take that into consideration. It doesn't really necessarily always have to do with local. But what I find is that local ends up just being better because the quality of not transporting it around the world really helps maintain quality. And then sustainability, I think it's something that's been talked about in restaurants a lot, but the number of people actually really practicing it is very little. We want to do our best to take as little from the earth as possible so that we have more for later. And I just feel like those who are practicing sustainability tend to also take better care of their ingredients. By cooking from your region, you're naturally forced to elevate what's around you. It's a lot easier to just buy the best ingredients from all around the world, but then it makes you kind of become the same as everyone. Whereas if you're really focusing on specific ingredients that are in your region, you're forced to highlight things that normally people don't want to highlight. It's really easy to forget about the carrot and use it as backdrop to something. It's very hard to make the carrot the center of the show. Sometimes that's what I like to do with a lot of things like beets. Make it the center of the dish because you have to, because you have nothing else to go to, and it forces you to be more creative. That's what brought me into cooking. I really enjoy creating dishes that surprise people, give them enjoyment and make them happy, but also challenge them a little bit and make them think about it.
So the first bite is a venison tartare, and it's served in the shell of the oyster, and we actually shuck the oyster and mix it back in with the tartare. Served it with some black currant, and it's finished with a walnut powder.
Primary Colors, when we designed it, we built it, we started out, what we wanted to create was a community space. Source really good ingredients and put them together in new ways to create new colors. And also to create this community space where we're bringing in local suppliers. And then on top of that, as the guests come in, we want to build that community. I think that the easiest way to get to know someone is to have a meal with them, share their culture, share the way they were brought up, their nostalgia. Because everyone has a favorite dish or a dish that reminds them of their grandmother or their mother. Dishes and food bring memories to people. Everyone can connect to that. I think it's just a sense of why I started cooking to begin with. And that is to create dishes that wow people, but also to take ingredients that people expect, local ingredients, and then try to make them into something else that people are not expecting. That's how we can change people's perspectives. That's how I put my nostalgia and my creativity into what I do. It just makes me happy when people try a new dish and they never expected it before.
If you go into the Milpa space and you see the beautiful arches, and I remember reading a story when they first opened about this being reminiscent of Chef Elia's family home back in Mexico. And I think that even that storyline just adds a touch when you're walking into the space. But you look at this menu and it's definitely not that North Americanized kind of Mexican restaurant that you see here. You see a lot more different dishes and you definitely get this sense of like warmth. These are flavors, ingredients, techniques that she's trying to pull from her heritage. And I love that our city has diversified and grown and expanded our palates enough in the 20 years I've been here to really allow for this restaurant to develop here in Calgary and thrive.
I come from a third generation chefs. I think I was around 6 or 7 that I wanted to do some baking. So I got like the magic oven. And I remember I made a pizza and they were like blown away because I made a huge pizza. It was raw. But they always were like, it's super delicious, but I think if you leave it a little bit longer in the oven, it will be even more delicious. Correcting me in the very positive way so I don't get all down and I'm not good for this. But I will do it and do it again. Great memories. I really feel like I grew up in the kitchen. My biggest influence has always been my grandmother, my mother as well. And now I'm at the point that I take all that and now continue her steps, but on my own personality, who I am. I'm grateful to being raised by such strong women. What I love to being a chef is very simple. I love the fact that the first necessity of the human being can be very creative. And it's just no eating because you have to get nutrients to your body or because you're hungry. It's because you can have a party in your mouth, without being dancing. Food is an art. Even if the dish is super simple, you can taste the love when someone is cooking with so much passion. It just tastes different. I wanted to bring a dish that is very close to my heart, and that is this sauce. It calls pipián verde, the green pepita sauce. It's because literally I grew up with it like big time. My grandma used to cook it very often at home. This is exactly how she used to make it. And it represents me as a child with my family having a simple, quick meal, but like so flavorful. Traten de que el glaze esté un poco más, no tan frío para que se pueda hacer. Super. When I'm building my team, if they're very passionate because we all are cooks and we want to express ourselves, I try to give a little bit freedom where they can also develop themselves. Bueno, puedes limpiar chiles, las tortillas y las empanadas. And I think that's important because as a team, I was there. Martín, gracias por todo. Nos vemos en noviembre. Ok, pero muchas gracias. Va. Myself as a chef, I want to be a leader, not a dictator. So a leader inspires and allows other people to grow. And when you feel part of a team, you don't want to leave that team. You want to grow with that team. My inspiration is to growing up that I can help others. My responsibility as a chef is to feed people. So I want to feed the world. Those ones in need, those ones who didn't have the opportunity to grow up like I did, or to have a pot plate on the table like I do. As a chef, I'm responsible to feed the world. I think that's what I want until I die.
People are intrigued by the idea of the techniques and approaches that chefs have. I think we have to give credit to food television for some of that. I look at Danny in Canmore. Chef Danny has this whole aging fridge for his duck, and that's definitely a signature dish of his. But I want to learn more about his background. I think his background is kind of a fusion around French, but also his love and interest in his family in Japan and the techniques that he's employed in his craft. And it really kind of comes through that menu.
It's good together. The grape with it just pops. And it's like refresh your palate. Because I hitchhiked from Quebec when I was 17, and I left home with not much money. I was living on a campground, and I was biking to work with socks on my hand because it was too cold just to go work. Kota. My first job, I was actually working at Bagel Co. here in town, making sandwich with bagels. After that, moved into serving jobs, did some bartending, and then finally made my way into a kitchen after. I wouldn't say I'm self-taught. I always try to make sure that I surround myself with people that are either better than me, or at least as good, so we can keep evolving. I've always been open for critic, and my wife was my biggest critic. She's always been honest. She loved taking photos, so she was taking photos of all the plates I was doing. She got a book, she just thought it would be good memories for down the road. Wow. Now it's good memories to just laugh at me, basically. She pulls it, look at it, and we're like, oh my God, we ate that.
This is awful.
I think I've always been open to critic, and that's how I grew.
Now it's better. Thanks, buddy. I feel good about myself.
I've always loved cooking at home. I think I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. I used to cook a little lunch and made a little menu for my mom. My mom actually kept my first menu that I wrote for her. It's here in the restaurant. My vision was to build a place where we can be as creative as we want, that we can have any tools that we need to produce whatever we want, push ourselves, have somewhere that we're all proud and happy to come in, because we're spending so many hours daily here that if you're not happy to come into work, then what's the point? When we just opened, people ask us, who are you, what do you do? And we didn't have an answer, we were still defining ourselves. As we're trying to discover ourselves and what we think we like to cook, we're developing techniques, new flavor profile. For us, what we perceive it as, this is Canadian cooking for us, that's what we're trying to do. When we create dishes that have a flavor profile that is very surprising, people read the menu and they're like, what is that? Then they eat it and they're like, wow, I did not expect these things to work together. When we create dishes like that, that's where I get excited about it. Our pork and scallop that we currently have is, I'm thinking, a dish that we're not going to be able to get rid of because it always have the wow factor for everyone that eats it.
Oi, Mush Mush.
Hello.
Hi. So you went to play at Yumen's house, Kuta? Splashing with balloon?
Yeah.
Outside or inside?
Inside the house.
Oh my God, in Checky's house?
She wasn't happy.
You guys are crazy? Hey, また明日ね。明日学校パパ早く行くからね。覚えててね。元気でね。はい。じゃあね。 Hey, good night.
Bye.
We.
It is my dream to have a restaurant, but once you start opening a restaurant and you see how much juice it takes out of you, how much of your soul it takes out of you, it's like, was that really my dream kind of idea?
But there are no regrets.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah. Like, of course there's regret. Like yesterday you see me in the hallway with my son. Like, I'm not with him, you know, like, so there's that for sure. Yeah, I have some regrets. I'm like, why did I open a restaurant sometime? Because it's your everything. You're always constantly working, right? Like, when you don't sleep at night, it's because your brain is constantly going. Like, twice I ended up I was like, I'm having a heart attack. I'm dying right now, you know what I mean? So, ended up at the hospital, and they're like, you just need to chill. You just need to relax. But I'm like, I can't. I got a business. I'm in the hole. I need money. If I don't find it, I will be in trouble, you know what I mean? So, you realize, like, I just put 3 years of, like, crazy effort. Now we're in a good place. But then when I look at myself, I look like I'm 10 years older. I aged 10 years in 3 years kind of idea. So it's like a lot of sacrifice, and sometimes you wonder, is it worth it? I love what I'm doing, but I'm not there for my family. So when I'm with them or with other friends, I'm like, I think we're amazing at our job, but we're failing on the other aspect kind of idea. But that's just the pressure I put on myself. That's it. It's just that the guilt is there for sure.
Fancy scallop salt. Sesame oil.
In the future, when he gets older, how he's perceived what I did, basically. I'm not always present at home with him. When I'm there, I'm trying to make sure that I'm 100% with him.
What's your finger?
But I hope he sees that, like, maybe daddy wasn't home every day, but it was worth it. Let me go clean myself, so. What makes me the most proud is the goal that I set myself, we're achieving them. That's where I'm at right now in my life. It's what's the next chapter? What is coming after? I need to find the next goal because we're not filled up in here every night, but I still feel like we're achieving the goal that I set myself in the first place. And now it's kind of, yeah, what's next? So I'm not lost, but it's definitely, I don't want to just reach where we're going and sit on it. It's how we keep going from there. Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited. I'm scared at the same time.
Straight fire, 1 watermelon, on bag, 1 char, 1 halibut.
Chef Jenny Kang, I've known about for quite a while. I've always loved that Jenny comes from this love of Italian and Mediterranean flavors.
1 halibut, 1 tofu katsu, 1 bucatini, all same time.
When you think about how much of a hard worker she is, that really, for me, is an epitome of her as a chef. She's working so hard. She's so behind the scenes. She's never out there like really promoting herself, but man, her flavors are so great.
I'm from small town, South Korea. We were very, very poor when we were young. We grow all the vegetables, chickens and pigs. We farmed mostly to feed our family. My parents, when they were working on the farm, they don't want to lose their time to go cook for the family. So I started volunteering because I was just so tired on the farm, so I can go home earlier. When I was 9 years old, I started learning from my mom how to cook. My dad was very happy with my first rice that I cooked for my family. And still, I cannot just forget that moment that even I was 9 years old, that my big family working so hard and I did something for them and they were so happy with what I made, even just rice. I didn't think I was gonna be a chef. I didn't want to be in the farm. I didn't want to be in the kitchen, so I wanted to do something better. I studied engineering. I don't remember anything now because I put more information into my brain, so I forgot all other things that I studied. So I learned Western style, Italian and French cuisines. The techniques really, really nice. It's beautiful, tastes really good. But at the same time, as I grew up on the farm, I found so much waste coming when you do the fine dining plating. My mom's growing this and then she sold to the people and they just use the best part and throwing away. It hurts me. Because of that, I push myself more to focus on what we have instead getting all the special stuff from over the world. I just use broccoli that we can just find everywhere. That was really big hit at the beginning. The whole broccoli with the stems on it. I put them together because the stems, if you cook perfect, it's so good. And I wanted to use it up. So I tried to use everything from the roots to the top. People, of course, they didn't know they're supposed to eat the stems. So it came back with all the stems on the plate. So I was telling my servers, you tell your guests to try the stems. I am focusing on how we use all our ingredients. At the beginning, all the stem came back. And later I pushed my stuff and it was less and then less. Now, nothing's coming back. This one, Andrew loves it. This is his favorite in summer kimchi. My secret is love, okay? Let me just ask Andrew. I'm gonna let him try. My mom trained me when I was little. My husband, he directed me in the right path. My husband, he's very picky. So every time I make the dish, I have to get approved from him. So whenever I create something, I let him try. You want spicier?
It's pretty spicy.
Yeah, it is spicy. Good? Yeah? I love to get feedback from him because he lost his vision. So he has better palate, he has better sense of tasting notes. When you lose something, you gain something else. If there's missing some texture or acid, he always tells me. He's still helping me. He's working as what he used to do. And that inspired me, motivate me more to be a chef. I want to be popular with my food. I want to be on the TV show. It's not that. I want to serve the good food to my guests. When I see the happiness from my guests when they enjoy my food, that motivates me to create something better.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's in store for us going forward in Calgary's food scene. There's more for us to experience as diners and so much more for us to learn from. And I'm really excited to see what stories the chefs have to share with us next on the plate.
Fall.
Don't get on camera. Don't get on camera.